Alright, now I'm going to analyze that melody I was talking about, Applebit. I made a video which was comping for this melody, and I used some elements, some scales for it. Basically, it's in the key of C major, and it has chords of D minor 7, G dominant 7, C dominant 7, A dominant 7, and then again D minor 7, G dominant 7, and it ends in C major. But when I used the notes for this melody, I borrowed some from the scales. I used, for example, for D minor 7, I used D Dorian, which belongs to the key of C major. It's like the second degree, so it's like playing C major scale, but starting from D, something like that. And then there was a G dominant 7, and for that I used G Phrygian scale. And then I didn't use the exact whole scale, all the notes, but I borrowed some notes like E flat and A flat from there, and then I didn't use the B flat. So it's like that. I tried to be creative with it. I'm not like really restricted. I'm not just trying to pigeonhole it, trying to frame it in a very certain way. I try to be loose with it, especially when I'm writing melody, you know, who cares? It's like I can't decide whatever. And there are times I don't exactly know what scale I want to use there, or what scale I'm using. There is a note, I just use another note just to embellish it because it sounds more interesting. So there's a way like that. And then there is a C dominant 7 chord, and over it I play C Ionian. I don't play anywhere there B flat. And then there is A dominant 7 chord, and over it I play B flat melodic minor jazz minor scale. And again, I don't play the whole scale. I just use 4 notes from it to make it more interesting. And usually over dominant chord that goes quite, you know, that goes well. It makes an interesting sound there. And then again D minor 7, G7 follows. So it starts with D, and it's on A string and 5th fret, and it goes like this. Then F, then A, then B. B doesn't belong to D minor usually. It would be B flat if it was a D minor, D Aeolian scale, which would be, you know, played over D minor chord, but D minor 7, and it's like its 7 is C. And it's like I'm you know, flying off. Like B wouldn't belong to that. It would be B flat, but by putting B there, I'm making it more interesting, so to speak. And after that, over G dominant 7 chord, I'm playing these notes: D, E flat, G, and A flat. This A flat here belongs to G Phrygian, and E flat is also from the G Phrygian scale, but I put the A flat here as a passage for the next note, which is going to be A. And the next chord is C dominant 7. And I have it because I know that I'm just skipping like this, I'm going a bit too fast, but I'm going to add a tablature and a sheet music. You can check it there much more slowly, and you can analyze it. I just want to show where I'm playing it exactly. That's what this video is about, basically. So the next chord is C dominant 7, and I started with A, which makes it actually a bit like a 13th sound, you know, C 13th. But the scale I'm using there is Ionian, actually. and then it goes like this. Let's see. What I did there is like A, F, G, and then E open string. Okay, next chord is A dominant 7, and I'm using there B flat melodic minor scale, jazz minor in other words. And again, I'm not using the whole notes there, I'm just borrowing some notes. So let's see what I'm doing there. Okay. It's C sharp on 2nd fret, and then B flat on 3rd fret, 3rd string, G string. And then I slide up and I play A on G string, and then C on B string. Yes. And then the next chord is D minor 7. I'm playing F, G, D, and B. F, G are on high E string, and then the D is on B string, and B is on G string on 4th fret. Actually, the fingering is wrong. I'm going to play the whole thing together. Now, when I play the single notes, I'm just playing where they are. But when I play the whole melody, it's a bit different. You have to see left hand fingerings as well, because I'm using sweep picking, and I arranged it accordingly. It plays well together. You know, if I use sweep picking, that exact position is to be used because that makes it most fluent there. And then where are we? Yeah. And then there is this G dominant 7, and I'm playing B on 7th fret, and it's on high E string, and then G on 3rd fret on the same string, D on 2nd string, B string, and on 3rd fret, and then I'm playing, because I was going to play, actually that's what I was planning, I was going to play B on the 3rd string, on G string, but it sounded too plain to me. That's why I wanted to add this E flat here, so it makes it a bit more interesting. And then C. Now it ends a bit like, almost like a C minor, you know, instead of C major. But it's a C major, it's ending in C major chord. So there is this strange flavor there that, as I said, I'm not really playing exactly a scale there. It's just a usual, I would say, G Ionian there. There is no, it's not even G Mixolydian because there's no 7. But I add this, it gives that flavor. So let me play the whole thing from the beginning and I show it slowly. Once again. A bit like that, and then you can check the tablature and then see it, you know, a bit clearer. It's one thing to play, it's a bit difficult to show it and slowly and all that, you know, I have to stay on top of it a bit. I have my papers here just to make sure, but that's the basic idea, and it's just giving little flavors here, borrowing notes from different scales and putting it together, and then not just sticking the basic scales which go with the chords and adding little embellishments. And this is just an example. Analyze it through the tablature and then say the sheet music, and see what you can do, if you can come up with your own ideas which are similar to this. And what I like about this melody is it doesn't seem like it's going to resolve anywhere. It's just going, it can go anywhere, especially in this area, but then it ends up in C, although it sounds a bit like C minor, you know. Okay, try it, and I see you on the next video. Mm-hmm.